the City Design Review Board to order. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting. We were all emailed a packet. We were all emailed our packet for the minutes of the last meeting. Did everyone have a chance to review those? If you did you see any changes that need to be made?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted. I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Minutes will be accepted. Our first case is a matter of information, case DRB 2024-10. It's a presentation of the Porter School renovation located at 301 South Dargan Street, specifically identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 90087-07-004 in the D3 Arts and Cultural Overlay District. Staff?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. This property, as you're likely aware, is along the Dargan Street corridor in the downtown area. It does qualify as a government project with the total construction cost being over $1 million. So it falls under staff's review to review it and approve it, per the design guidelines, and we do review it rigidly along the design guidelines. We've received a partial submittal of the Pointer School at this point. We've received some nice renderings like you see before you, some site plans. Thus far, the Historic Commission has approved the demolition of the, and it's already been demoed, but the old administrative building. It's part of it's the building, Elaine, the 60s probably, the 70s. Yeah, it was definitely not of the same architecture and age of the main school here. Their plans are to keep the current school intact. There may be some internal demo associated with that as they reconfigure the internal components of that. You can see here on the front lawn, they're planning to do some significant hardscaping and landscaping, as well as a nice fence that's reflective of the one that they did down at the old McClinigan next door at the park. It'll be very much in line with that. But I did want to keep the board abreast of what's going on there because there's a lot of activity there. They've been doing, as I said, some internal selective demo, as well as they have demolished the old administrative building. And they do plan to, on the exterior of this building, I think it's going to be purely renovation, and they are going to restore some of the old windows in the gym that were originally there that have been bricked over. So thus far, everything that's been proposed to us is directly in line with the design guidelines. But once we receive a complete submittal, we'll complete that review, and I'll present it again to the board just to keep everybody abreast. But I know didn't want a bunch of folks seeing activity there and wonder what's going on, but we have given partial approval for the demolition there, and we'll continue to review as they submit the full set.
Okay. Any questions, Jerry? Okay, thanks for the update.
No problem.
Okay, our first case today for public hearing is case DRB 2024-11. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the house located at 613 South Coit Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 901-04-02-022 in the D1 Redevelopment Overlay District. Staff?
Good afternoon. This is a single-family house. It is literally on the edge of the D1 Overlay District, as you can see here. The house actually goes onto the property line and interferes with the property next door. It has been a problem in the past, and it is kind of fallen apart anyway, so the property owner has gotten approval by the City of Florence. The City of Florence, through their demo program, is going to be taking it down. It was built in 1940. The Historical Commission did not find any historical significance to it and has issued the ROA for it. Here's a photo of the house. So there are no plans for future development at this time. They just want to remove it, take care of that issue with the property line, and just remove an eyesore from the neighborhood. So that concludes staff's report.
Okay. Thank you, Arlene. Anyone have any questions of staff? Hearing none. Anyone here to speak on this matter? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and open it up for discussion or a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Certificate will be issued. Our second case today is case DRB 2024-12. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the building located at 189 Worley Street, identified at Florence County Tax Map Number 90074-03-012 in the D1 Redevelopment Overlay District. Staff?
All right, this house is located at the corner of Worley and West Chevis Street. It was built as a house in the 1930s, has been used in recent years as an office, and the new Zone Central Business District. The Historical Commission reviewed this and did not find any historical significance to it, so they did issue the ROA, the Record of Official Action, permitting the demolition as well. These are some photos of it. The part of the demolition includes removal of that tree that you see in on the left side of the screen. It's the only tree on site. But as you'll see in the next request, which is related to this, the proposal is to build 5 townhouses. And so that tree would be in the way for that. And as you can see, the existing house goes right up to the property line, which is lined up along the sidewalk. And the backyard parking and all that will be reconfigured. But the property owner, who is here, had intended to restore the building if possible, but apparently when he got in there, found out that it was going to be quite extensive, and that the state of repairs was more than he had thought initially. So the plan is to tear it down and build townhouses in this location. So that concludes staff's report.
Does anyone have any questions of staff? Thank you. Anyone here to speak on this matter? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and open it up for a discussion or a motion.
4 or 5 or 6.
That's the next case.
But it's related to this case, right?
That's correct, yes. There's 5.
Okay,
This is just to tear it down.
gotcha.
Yeah.
If there's no historical purpose, I'll take a motion to tear it down.
A second.
Approve it, I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the certificate will be issued. Congratulations, Mr. Carter. Our third and final case today will be case DRB 2024-13. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to construct 5 townhomes at 189 Worley Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 90074-03-012 in the D1 Redevelopment Overlay District. Staff?
All right. This, again, is that same property, and this is what the proposal is. You may be familiar with these townhomes going up on Celebration Boulevard, and the builder is Dowling Construction, and this is exactly the style that these houses will be built in, and it'll look just like this because this is also 5 units. So the design guidelines for the D1 do not give specific architectural standards, just say that the only thing they say, and I put it in the report, is that it should complement the character of the surroundings. And there's a mixture of buildings in the area, commercial and residential, of 1 and 2 story heights. This is an overlay that I just received yesterday, so it's not in your packet. The red line, and I gave each of you a physical copy, the red outline is the existing house, and then the blue lines are the 5 lots that the townhouses would be on. The brown lines are the existing amount that is paved right now with driveway and pavement, and then the green line is the new parking area that would be established. So the parking would be a little bit less concrete in the area. They'll have little backyards. They'll be facing Chevis Street rather than Worley Street, which the house faces Worley right now. The townhouses would be facing, so if you're driving down Chevis, this is what you would see. And the parking will be to the left of it, and there'll be access onto that alley in the back of the, so it'll be in and then out onto that alley. And this is the site plan showing the layout of the parcel. And the only issues are that, and this is Zone Central Business District, which is a mixed-use urban area or use. Most commercial buildings have 0 lot lines, so no setbacks are required. For townhouses, it's suggested that they have a 10-foot front setback and a 20-foot rear setback. The property owner would like to reduce that by 10% and just do an 18-foot rear setback. And as you can see from here, that'd be only slightly more of a footprint than the existing house. And he will be installing this privacy fence along the property line, which is now the Worley Street side. So this would be going around the rolling, the trash cart screening, and then along that northern property line. And then the only other, so they need y'all to approve that reduced setback. And then also the overall area, townhouses are supposed to have, between the lot they're on and common space, they're supposed to have about 2,400 square feet. Because of the size of this lot, it drops down to, I think it's 2,250. So it's just slightly under that. I think I calculated it'd be 6% less. So, and y'all have, because of where it is, y'all have the authority to approve that as well. So this is all new construction. They're going to be clad in brick and hardy siding. They'll be 32 feet tall at the highest point of the roof. There are other 2-story buildings in the area. It does have the distinctive fenestration of the windows and doors. Again, they're proposing the 18-foot backyard and 10-foot front yard. The roof line has the distinction between the units. Landscaping will be provided both around the new parking lot and around the building as required by Unified Development Ordinance. And then there is a 6-unit, 2-story townhouse development 1 block away on the opposite side on Evans and Worley. So it's not an unusual use for that, even for that block. And then, as I said here, the design guidelines don't provide architectural guidelines for the D1, but in the D2 overlay district, it does say that new construction should be traditional in character while reflecting the time period of its creation. So that covers that. And then, so the COA needs to address the 3 items, just including the setback variance, the area variance, and then include the fence. So that concludes staff's report.
Okay, anyone have any questions of staff?
So can you go back one slide? Go
Wh-
back one.
To which one?
The one you just were on.
Oh.
The last one, sorry.
This one with the COA items?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it was 2 feet closer and 2 feet farther away, and it was a few more 100 square feet, and it wasn't for the fence, they wouldn't even have to come before us.
Well, they would for just the style of
Okay.
the,
All right, okay. That's
yeah.
Okay, go back to the architectural. One more.
Which-
That one, the one more, you just passed it.
That one,
Okay, the parking lot's gonna be to the left, right?
correct.
And the right will be Worley Street.
That's
It'll be
right.
right on the street, okay?
Yeah.
Was there parking in front of the homes as well?
No, it'll be in the parking lot.
That was more a little walkway.
The Central Business District does not require off-street parking, but there is only 2-hour parking right now on Chevis and Worley, and they're both DOT streets. So the owner is providing off-street parking.
Okay, any other questions of staff?
So all these are very minor variances, and my kids go to school in that area. I see it every day, and if it's too much work once you got in, I mean, that house is just gonna get worse and worse. But so the question I'm asking is, this is gonna make that area look much nicer. This project looks very well done. But we're not setting up any precedent that the staff's worried about for future projects that aren't done as in good taste. They
Well,
could
that's
take
why-
advantage of these as saying, well, they did it.
I mean, I think it's setting a higher standard that, because any other development would have to come before y'all and you'd be able to say, this is what we're looking for, something at least this much articulation and detail and,
So if somebody came before us and it was after this and said, it just didn't look, it looked kind of junky, we could say, well, we approved this, but this is standard.
that's correct.
And the fact of the matter is if it was a commercial development, they would have 0 lot line setbacks in the CBD district and no minimum lot areas. So, it's kind of a glitch in our ordinance, I think, where townhomes are regulated kind of individually, but it doesn't really address them in this central business district where there are 0 lot lines. But as the design review board, you have jurisdiction over the space and the setbacks of building that gives the board a lot more freedom to approve things that are outside of what the underlying code allows. I mean, I think that's always a great basis to start from, and you should always start there. But look at the densities and the development and how the spacing is in our downtown area and the adjacent spaces there. And we do have a lot of 0 lot lines or smaller setbacks in those areas. So.
Yeah, in this case, it's pretty easy to see that Florence and the neighborhood's gaining a lot more than the small variance, but I always just wonder, like, we can still, anyone that comes before us in the future, we can say, well, this was very much an improvement to that area, so we allowed that, versus them saying, well, you did it for them, you have to do it for us.
That's right. I mean, you guys look at the design and the aesthetics of properties, and if it doesn't meet the guidelines, then yeah, absolutely, it could be denied on any grounds not meeting the guidelines. Yeah.
Well, it's going back further on one side than it was to begin with. So the other house, which was formerly a house before it was a commercial property, was right on the property line. So it's going back further on one side and then, I guess spreading out on the other.
Right, it'll have a little bit of a front yard along Chevis there.
Right, yeah,
So from a pedestrian standpoint,
right,
it'll, I think it'll make it a little bit friendlier.
right, I agree.
So the old house is in the right of way, actually.
Well, as you can
Close.
see, it's right on the property line. And I think that was an addition, so I'm not really sure how that got put on there.
Back in the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
Might have built it before they built the road.
The
Any other-
planning director was on vacation.
That's true. Any other questions of staff? Okay, hearing none. Anybody here to speak in this matter? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and open it up for discussion or a motion.
I have one question. The colors in this, and this is not a rendering, this is an actual picture. Is this the exact
It's my understanding that that's what color there will be.
colors? No? Okay, cool.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've gotten a chance to look at those, they turn out real nice.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted with the amendments of the setbacks from 20 feet to 18 feet. What were the other two?
The area being reduced and the fence.
The area being reduced and the fence.
Pretty good motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Certificate will be issued.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Joe.
Mr. McMillan. I want to thank everyone for their time today. Does the staff have anything else to address? Having nothing?
You all got that form to fill out, just asserting that you do live in the city or work in the city or fulfill a certain role.
Or both.
Or both. Or all the above.
Oh, it's all right.
It's just the none of the above that we've got to
Yep,
concern
it'll look
with.
really good.
We are adjourned, and our next meeting will be July 10th at 2 p.m.